in the news, we have the following. It says the U.S. cracks down on imported goods made by Uyghurs and victims of forced labor. Talking about China. And so what it's doing, it's confiscating or not accepting, blocking, whatever you want to call it, goods made from China or coming from China. Indirectly, apparently these were Vietnamese goods, came from Vietnam, that apparently were made in China. And so the United States is cracking down on that. And what should we do? Think about that. I mean, politicians do whatever they want. They can take whatever decisions they want. But it tells you something. And it tells you, at least what it tells me, is that the United States is in trouble. I mean, if the United States has to resort to these measures, it seems like desperation. It seems like they're in some kind of trouble. That's what it tells me. For example, let me contrast this with another piece of news that you'll see around there, and that's this: that in Saudi Arabia, they also are using forced labor to build things, and the United States doesn't take the same type of measures against Saudi Arabia. So there's like a double standard here. It's like the Saudis can do anything they want. In fact, you had this guy Mohammed bin Salman, and apparently he killed this fellow Khashoggi at an embassy in Turkey, and he got away with it. No, they're never going to bring him to trial or anything, and the CIA has already determined that, yeah, he knew about it. He caused that problem. He ordered the murder of this guy Khashoggi. And so the question is, why China? Is it because the United States is in trouble economically? And I hope not, because if the United States is in trouble, then we're all in trouble. Okay, like I said, the United States is the last empire. There will not be a Chinese empire. And if the United States is taking these measures against the empire of China, it's because it's in a little bit of trouble. Okay, now China does have this communist regime. It controls the population. It doesn't allow other countries, among them the United States, to publish whatever they want in China. It controls all the information, etc. So the United States is a little worried that it can't get in there the way it wants to, like in other countries. And at the same time, here's the Chinese catching up with the United States economically. In fact, if things continue as they are now, it is said that maybe in 4 or 5 years, China will be at the same level as the United States, economically, possibly even militarily. And so is that going to mean that we're going to have a Chinese empire? The Chinese empire is going to surpass the American empire? Or is there going to be a war before that happens? Okay, food for thought. Again, I don't want to speculate on the possibility of war, but it is a very likely possibility. All you need is a false flag to get that rolling, right? And those are very common in history. Okay, and here's another bit of information that makes you want to think about, how well the economy is in the United States, especially, right? Here it is. This is the note. It says high demand at food pantries. Okay, this is just one bit of information talking about San Jose, California. I used to live in that area. And food is getting more expensive. Hunger, that's what they said in this bit of news. Feed people that lost their jobs during the pandemic. Many still can't afford food. Is this the United States? People can't afford food in the United States? I mean, what is this? We're talking about a fourth world country here or what? At the same time, food prices are surging because of the pandemic, right? Supply problems and worker shortages. Yeah, some people apparently don't want to accept jobs that are available. I guess they're picking what jobs they want to have. You could say it's a labor market, maybe, quotations on that, because the question is whether salaries are going to go up and whether the jobs that are available are jobs that people want. Okay, but yeah, when you're starving, you typically get whatever job there is out there, and what they're saying is that they're not using this word hunger. Is there hunger, or is this people just taking advantage of the system? I mean, people accuse the government of misleading and taking advantage. Here we have the other side of the coin where people take advantage of laws or, economic measures that are out there. They just take advantage of that. And so we got it on both sides, right? And Here's one analysis of that. It says the U.S. economy added only 235,000 jobs, the lowest gain since January. Economists were expecting 720,000 new hires, so less than half. Okay, that's what they got. And the unemployment dipped. Okay, it was in 5.4, it still dipped to 5.2, so people are not looking for jobs, apparently. That's what you got to conclude from this, right? And it's not that there aren't enough jobs. There are a record high 10 million U.S. job openings. Still, 8.4 million Americans are unemployed. So it looks like everybody's just clinging to the benefits. More or less, they like the fact that they're at home collecting a paycheck. And these are some of the reasons workers aren't returning. You have COVID fears, okay? Childcare needs, okay? You have boosted unemployment benefits. People who are making a little more money now, and they say, well, I'm going to hang out a little longer, before I get a job. And then there's apparently a favorable labor market. Okay, jobs are plentiful, wages are rising, but nobody's getting them. Nobody's asking for those jobs. Okay, now all that may stop when these benefits stop. Is that what it is? Too much socialism? We got to get people to work the good old capitalist way. Forced labor, you're starving, you're forced to work, that sort of thing. Okay, so keep that in mind. My issue is whether the United States is really going to come out of this economic problem, okay, this situation that was created apparently by a bug that's out there. Okay, whether there's a bug or not, in my opinion, is irrelevant. I look at what's happening, as far as what is happening to the economy. Okay, so that's what I keep my eyes on. Okay, one person says, extinction is almost nothing but a prediction. Well, this is why I ask people to do Extinction 101 before they do Extinction 102. Extinction 102, human extinction. Extinction 101, mass extinction. Mass extinction only refers to the past, and that's not a prediction. You don't predict the past, except in mathematical physics, right? They predict the past all the time. They predict how the universe got started. I love that one. They predict the original seed that gave birth to the universe. And this is more or less the same thing. You don't predict the past. You don't predict mass extinction. You don't predict how the dinosaur died. You don't predict how the Permian mammal-like reptiles died. Okay, we don't do prediction. We don't predict the past. So first, you got to predict the past. Then you can move on and predict the future. Okay, please predict the past. Okay, that's what we need. So you need to tell me how animals in the past died, because we're looking at not how man is going to die. We're looking at the mechanism of a mass extinction. Okay, and then we're going to extrapolate that mechanism, not prediction, mechanism. We're going to extrapolate the mechanism to man and say, well, can man do anything about that same mechanism that all the other animals in the past couldn't do anything about? Okay, that's the reasoning. Okay, so we're not talking about the future. We're really talking about the past. We're talking about the mechanism. When people focus on when it's going to happen, then we got a problem. We're talking about how it's going to happen. Okay, and how it's going to happen has to do with analyzing mass extinctions that already have occurred. So no, it's not a prediction. And here again, I always say do Extinction 101, which is mass extinction, before you do Extinction 102, which is human extinction, because otherwise you're going to get into that kind of problem. You think that you're predicting something when you're not. You're focusing on when it's going to happen. You say it's going to happen in the future. It's going to happen within my lifetime. Well, that's different than saying that it's how it's going to happen. Okay. Another person raised says, you are right about everything except an extinction of humanity. There will be a large decline in the world population, but not an extinction. Okay, that will be reserved for the corrupt governments. The governments will go extinct. Okay, you have a communist here. Okay, the way it worked. If you read Marx, okay, and Engels, they predicted, or they wanted, really more than a prediction, they recommended, they thought it would happen, right? That sometime in the future there would be revolutions, so that workers took over power over the governments. And then from then on, it would lead to a world government where all civilized persons would finally get together and say, okay, let's have one world government, let's control it, let's the workers, the people who produce the goods, right, and out there, let them govern. And then at some point in time, we reach this point where there's anarchy. Not anarchy in the sense of, the guy with the Molotov cocktail. We're not talking about that kind of anarchy. No, we're talking about a different kind of anarchy. We're saying that the system of government, meaning no government. Okay, so it leads to no government. The train of thought that Marx had was first we have a world government, and then that government itself realizes that there's no need for it, and it ceases to exist. Okay. Now, what I criticize today, in retrospect, I've done a lot of Marxism in my life, but what I criticize is that, Marx applied that to the 19th century, which was an age of primarily agriculture, gradually converting in those days into manufacturing. So when he analyzed all this communism stuff, he did it all in the context of manufacturing, of industry, blue collar workers. That's what I'm black. Well, no, dark blue. Sorry, I'm still blue collar. He was thinking of blue collar workers. Those were the ones who were going to take over the government because they were the ones who were producing the goods. What he didn't predict was that manufacturing was going to go away completely, almost completely. Okay, it's been replaced by services. Services is a totally different kind of economy that has nothing at all to do with manufacturing or agriculture or hunter-gathering. So we went from hunter-gathering, which we did most of our existence. We did a little bit of 10,000 years of, a little more, a little less, of agriculture. Then we did industry, we did manufacturing, and now we've moved into services. And the issue is, what's next? Are we going to be doing services for the next gazillion years? Okay. So Marx did not predict services. And obviously, he couldn't have known that we would have invented the internet and all that stuff. Today, we don't even have regular services, like hand services. What we have is internet services. Internet services is a higher level of abstraction. We have Bitcoin. We have all these people on YouTube, like me, just providing a service. Okay? So think about that. All the jobs that we're creating today, or a lot of them, are internet stuff, just very, very abstract stuff. Learning, teaching, girls showing whatever they have. Those are services today. Someone singing, great. That's a great productive economy. Okay, fella says, global economic collapse is a conspiracy fueled by more conspiracy like the Great Reset. The name of the 50th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, also abbreviated WEF. And the main topic was how to recover economically from the virus, from this COVID thing, right? We may see regional economic collapse. A total global collapse is highly unlikely. He doesn't explain why, he just has an opinion, okay? That's just economics 101. Yeah, still not saying that doesn't say anything. We don't have a mechanism. We need a mechanism to find out why it's unlikely, okay? Also, the Billionaire Playboy Club will not let a total economic collapse happen. We're talking about the Illuminati here, okay? We have all these people who rule the world, the rich people, the wealthy, and they're not going to let it happen because what? Having the capability to steer economies, they would lose their control immediately in a total collapse. Okay? So yeah, if there's a total collapse, these people, the rich people of the world, they come down to your level, meaning, the grassroots level, and they're not going to let that happen. That's how many people think out there, exactly how many people think out there. So this is their notion, okay? They have all these hooded Illuminati, and they're out there, and they talk to each other, and they say, why don't we do this to the public? Why don't we do that to the public, And so this is the way they keep all the sheep within the corral, okay? And this is the notion a lot of people have. This fellow is just, essentially regurgitating what a lot of people believe out there. Okay, here, let's look at this. Put it over here. This is what this fellow was talking about. This fellow, Klaus Schwab. And he's talking about this great reset after the COVID. He said it's a good thing this COVID came around because it allows us now to wipe the slate clean and start all over again. We can do climate change. We can rearrange many things that, in society and economics and politics that should have been done a long time ago. So he calls that the Great Reset. And that's what this fellow was talking about. Okay, and I like this, the fourth industrial revolution. I only heard about one, the first industrial revolution, the only one, okay? And then after that, all I saw is a collapse of manufacturing from then on. There was a big rise and then finally a collapse, which today manufacturing is a very small portion of GDP and of labor, around 15% in each category. And what does this fellow Klaus Schwab say? He says, we stand on the brink of a technological revolution. Oh my God. That will fundamentally alter the way we live, work, and relate to one another. In its scale, scope, and complexity, the transformation will be unlike anything humankind has experienced before. Okay? The first industrial revolution, what? Water and steam, okay, to power mechanized production. Okay. The second, electrical power. Okay. The third one was what? Electronics and information. And what's the fourth one? Well, the digital revolution. Internet, I guess. Okay. Characterized by a fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. Mighty words of this fellow Klaus Schwab. Okay. He's been around for quite a while, and he's shaking hands with a lot of people out there in the high places. These are dreamers. You might say, well, he's got power, he's got influence, he's got money. Yeah, but these are dreamers. The fact that they are Illuminati, that they have an overwhelming power or influence, at least, over many politicians and economists and so on, and they themselves can alter markets. They also can get together and say, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Yeah, they can do a lot of that stuff. Will they avoid extinction? And I'm saying there's nothing anyone can do about extinction. Extinction is guaranteed. It was guaranteed from the day that Mother Nature spawned us. This is what people can't get through their thick skulls. They think these Illuminati control something. I don't care what they control. They can control the world for all I care. They will not be able to avoid extinction because they will not be able to salvage the economy. That's the problem. No matter what they do, they can create more money. They can put money over here and put it over there. Eventually, money will have no value. And when money has no value, not if, but when money has no value, that's it for mankind, including all the Illuminati. There's nothing they can do about it. Okay? So I'm saying the economic collapse is guaranteed. Nothing you can do about it. The Illuminati can stand on their heads for all I care. They will not be able to do anything about the global economic collapse. It's a guaranteed thing that's going to come. Okay, we cannot grow forever on the planet. Our economy cannot grow forever, especially when population is now leveling off. Okay, we're producing fewer children for the next generations, and it's been dropping since 1963. That's what now, almost 50 years. 50 years that it's been steadily dropping. It's not like it dropped and it's going to pick up. No, it's been steadily dropping the birth rate. And why is that important? Well, because people mean demand. That's what people means. Okay, you have no demand, companies close their doors, they lay off workers, and now you have less demand. And the government, all that a government can do is just fill in the blanks by creating more money. That's it. And we're going to go with this cycle until money is no more, until money has no value. Okay, so that's the argument. Okay, one person says, related a little more to extinction, he says, oh, ask a biologist what is life. What is it that makes an object alive? Aha. Okay, don't ask a biologist because they never defined the word. They never defined the term life or alive or living. They have no idea. So we had to do that, okay? Alive or living, a natural object, okay, that moves against the path of least resistance, primarily gravity, okay? Anything that can move against gravity by itself, right? Okay? Natural. We're not talking about artificial, little airplanes and so on, balloons. We're talking about a natural object, okay, that moves against gravity primarily, okay? Now, are all these other objects that, airplane can move against gravity, right? Yeah, but that's created by us. So we don't include them. That's why we use that word natural object. It's only those objects that Mother Nature creates, not those that are secondhand, made artificially by something that Mother Nature made, which is us. Okay, so that's the reason for the word natural in that definition. Okay, essentially a living being has the ability to move against gravity. Okay, and life is just a group of living entities. Okay, is a virus alive? No, virus is a molecule. Is a bacterium, bacteria meaning many, alive? Yes, bacteria are alive. So we have something that's made of cells, cell being the first entity that moves against gravity, okay, primarily moves against path of least resistance. It's the first living entity, the cell. That's the unit of life. Whether it's plant or life or animal, it doesn't matter. Cell is the unit of life, okay, and virus is not a cell. It's not compartmentalized. It's just a big molecule, okay? And that's all it is. And virus is an inert entity. It's not a living entity. The only time a virus really moves is inside the body. Okay? Once the virus goes into the body, it goes after the cells, and it uses cell material to make copies of itself. That's the theory, whether you accept it or not. Okay, that is the theory. If you got a better theory, you'd like to hear it. Okay. Okay, another issue related to this COVID thingy. Okay, I disagree, Bill. There have been safe and inexpensive cures out there, tried and trusted, talking about how to cure COVID. Okay, saying that maybe vaccine is not the only way. Okay, many respected professionals have argued against the response to this. Response, political is one thing. Response, medical, like, creating the vaccines. Yeah, I guess you'll find that there are a lot of doctors out there that maybe are suspicious or a little skeptical about vaccines. Okay. I don't think the majority of them are. I think the majority, I would say at least 90%, are in favor of vaccines, and they believe in vaccines, that vaccines will do something for you. There could be a percentage, I would say at most 10%, that do not accept vaccines or do not believe in vaccines. Maybe they're holistic doctors, if you can call them doctors. Okay, I mean, a guy who runs around the fire, you can say, well, he's a doctor. He's a witch doctor. Maybe makes it rain. I don't know. And so there's been so much fear mongering and lies. Yeah, that is true. And so again, I covered that the other day, saying that some people take advantage, or lots of people take advantage. They're trying to make a buck out of this, including the big corporations that sell the medicines and so on. Doctors themselves, maybe, my brother died this year, and he died of diabetes, and I would doubt it for a minute if the hospital told the government that he died of COVID, because they get money for people who die of COVID. They don't get money for people who die of diabetes. So I would think that maybe, just maybe, they're making money off of this. Lots of people making money off of this. Okay, another issue, person says, have you taken into account all of the side effects from the vaccine? Or how about what the heck is in them? Yeah, again, I got the vaccine only because I'm going to be traveling. I got my second shot, I guess, 23rd of September, I think it is. And, I got it not because of health reasons. I didn't get it for a year and a half. I mean, I didn't care. And I still don't care. I'm not worried at all about my catching the virus. And the way I look at it, if I catch the virus and it does get me, and I don't have any natural defenses, I die. That's it. That's how simple it is. Okay. Of course, a 20-year-old has a different perspective than I do. I'm going on 70 here, so we all have different situations. But I'm not concerned at all about this vaccine or the COVID. I don't even think about it. I don't lose any sleep over it. But again, you have people out there who have to deal a lot with the public, and they have, in their jobs and so on. And so they're in a different situation than a fellow who stays at home or has home office, okay, or is unemployed. And those people, a lot of those people have enough time to create a lot of these conspiracy theories about the Illuminati and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a different story when you have to work with a lot of people. A lot of those people, a lot of those workers are worried that they're going to see, they're going to come in contact with the masses, and they have a higher chance of catching the virus if there is a virus out there, right? And so they try to get that shot in the arm, okay? And they say, well, just in case I'm going to get my shot. There's a lot of jobs that even are requiring it, demanding that you have the vaccine, otherwise they won't let you work. And so, there's a lot of these situations out there. Everybody's got a different situation. My situation, I'm going to travel. That's the only situation. I don't want the hassle. I've already went to Iceland, in May, and they gave me a little bit of a hard time. I don't want to go through that again. Especially coming back to Germany here. If you come from a fourth world nation that's on the list, like the United States, for example, then they put you in quarantine. Okay. In fact, I think it's Holland, I heard, or Sweden. One of those countries won't accept Americans right now. So yeah, with vaccines or not, I guess. Okay, fellow says, I also got the shots. I swear many anti-vaxxers have done too, but won't admit it. Yeah, we have all kinds of situations out there. People who are lying. The world is a very complex place.